Hey guys, so today we're going to be ranking the 50 states. This is another ranking video. I don't know why I do so many of these, but they're fun, okay? They're probably my favorite videos to make out of all of them. Outside of the Jack Was Life and Roblox videos. Um, and there's a lot of these states that I haven't been to. I've As a matter of fact, I've only been to 7 states. Wait, no, 8. Um, I think I've been to Texas, I've been to California, I've been to Georgia, I've been to Hawaii, I've been to Idaho, and I've been to Nevada. I literally live in Nevada, actually. I've been to Oregon. Um, and I've been to Utah. I also live in Utah, so I like live in Utah half the time. I've been to Arizona, and I've been to Washington, and that's it. The rest of the states I haven't been to, I'm going to rank based on what other people have said about them. Starting off with Texas. I like Texas. It was alright. It was actually really fun in Texas when I went there back in 2018, I think. It kind of looked like Utah, actually. Except bigger and more people. Way more people. I'm gonna put it at a B tier. I'm also, sorry for the music playing in the background. This is a stream. In this stream we're gonna do the 50 states video, and then we're gonna be playing some Fortnite. So oh, there we go. The music's not there anymore. So yeah, Texas is a cool place. The people there were okay, and yeah, Texas is just a cool place. Like California though is gonna get an A tier. California is a pretty cool place. Well, to visit, not to live. Sorry if you're from California. California is just a visiting place for me. Alabama. I've never been here, but most people would probably put Alabama around C or D, which is what I'm gonna do. Apparently Alabama has a lot of pollution, and that's not good. So that's what I've heard. But like, people say that like Alabama is one of the better states in the South to live in. That it's not terrible, but it's better than some of the other ones. Ooh, Colorado, another state I've never been to, but I'm also gonna put it in B tier. Cause like people say that like the people, like the community there is nice. It's got cool cities and like cool towns and stuff, and like people like the mountains and stuff. So yeah, it seems like a decent place. Connecticut. I'm gonna go ahead and put it in. Everybody loves Connecticut. So for the people, I'm gonna put it in A tier. Apparently Connecticut is actually a pretty nice place to live. Like in all of, like the ranking 50 states videos I've seen, Connecticut has always usually been in the top 20. Yeah, even though those ranking videos are entirely opinion. Yeah. Delaware. Um, where do I put Delaware? I'm gonna put it in B. But it's a very small state, so it's easy to get to other places. It's the second smallest state, I think. Pretty sure Rhode Island's the smallest. Which we haven't gotten to yet. Rhode Island's all the way down here. Um, Florida And everyone says that Florida's really nice, but I know someone that's been. I know not just been there. I know someone that lived in Florida. Um. Yeah, my mom lived in Florida, and she says that it is an absolute dump. So I'm gonna put in D tier. No, actually E tier. Um, Georgia, I love Georgia. I've been there 2 times. Um, actually, Georgia might. Actually, yeah, it's an A tier. But I do like Georgia though. It's a really cool place. There's a lot of cool buildings. And I like the people. The people are nice. And I like the town that I went to. Because I once the first time I was there, I was a baby, so I don't remember that. I was like just under 2, I think. I was like a little bit over 1. But the second time I was there was back in 2021, I think. Yeah, it was December 2021. It was a Christmas trip. Um, and I do remember that pretty clearly. Obviously, that was only like 4 years ago. Um, and yeah, Georgia was really nice. I liked it there. Alright, we got our first S tier, Hawaii. I loved Hawaii when I went there back in 2023. Um, uh, Hawaii is just so nice. The people are decent, I guess. Eh. And what else? Oh, the beaches. The beaches are really cool. Um, I also knew someone from Hawaii for a little bit. I haven't. He was in my school though, so I haven't seen him in like 2 years. Probably never will. Um, and he said that it kind of depends on the island that you're at. He said Oahu was the best one, which that was not the island I went to. The island I went to was Maui, which he said was actually the worst one. So, but it was still nice. I liked it. I enjoyed it. Washington D.C. You know what? Frick you. I hate politics. Whenever I think Washington D.C., I just think politics. I don't know why. So which is why I'm gonna put it in F tier because I hate politics so much. Hate them. All right. Next up, we got Wisconsin. I'm sorry if you're from Wisconsin, but what even is there to do in Wisconsin? Eat cheese? C. Okay, I'm being mean. Wisconsin is cool. If you're from Wisconsin, you're probably a good lad. Arkansas, eh. This apparently this state is. Sorry if you're from Arkansas, but I'm gonna put it in F because people say that like Arkansas is even worse than Florida. Idaho. I haven't been here much. I didn't really see much stuff. We did drive past Boise, but the only time I've been here, we were just completely driving. We were passing it for a road trip. Oregon is also the other state that I've been to that I haven't actually seen much there. I was just driving past there on the way to another state. So yeah, I'm not gonna put Idaho in D tier. I'll put it in C. It was just from what I saw of it, it was just kind of empty. There wasn't even like really like cool mountains and woods and stuff. And next up we got Iowa. Iowa seems like a nice place. I'll put it in B tier. It seems like a cool place. From the pictures I've seen of it, it looks like there's a lot of cool buildings and The people are nice too. From what I've heard, like from other people, like on YouTube and stuff. Even though some of that might not always, some of that might not be completely true. That may just be because they're trying to praise their state, which I get. But I'm doing this based on what other people think about it. What other people say about it. Um, the only ones that I'm ranking by opinion are the ones that I've been to. Alright, we got Kansas. I have some family that lives in Kansas, and they say it's a really cool place. And a really nice place. Like it's really pretty. Like like I've heard it's got like pretty fields and stuff. So I'll put it in B tier. Kentucky, Kentucky Fried Chicken, D. All right, Maryland. Sorry, Maryland. Um, I've heard that besides Baltimore, that it's actually a really nice place. It's got a lot of cool buildings, and the people are decent, and yeah, it's overall just a great state. Well, other people say that it's a great state. I've never been there. I've never even been near there. So I'll put it in B. Massachusetts. I'm saying all the state names so weirdly. No. Everyone I've seen on YouTube absolutely praises to death out of Massachusetts. They say that it's such a nice place that like even like the big cities like Boston are nice, are very cool, and apparently it's got a ton of really nice beaches. It's ranked number one in a lot of other ranking state videos I've seen. Um, so even though I've never been there, I'm gonna go ahead and put it in S tier for you guys. Um, Mississippi though, uh, Mississippi is quite the opposite too. Um, or though it's ranked last in a lot of stuff I've seen. Um, Apparently, it's very polluted, very dirty, and it's got a lot of crime there too. So I'm gonna put it in F. Missouri is another one I'm gonna rank kind of low. I'm gonna put it in E. It's apparently St. Louis kind of sucks, um and also Missouri is Missouri is the freaking Kansas City Chiefs, which I mostly hate the Chiefs because not because they're good and they beat the other teams that I like. It's because of Taylor Swift. I hate Taylor Swift so much, and now that she's involved with the Kansas City Chiefs, I now hate the Kansas City Chiefs. You get it? You get what I'm saying? Okay. On to Montana. Um, I've heard that Montana is like just like Idaho and Wisconsin is a kind of a boring state. It looks pretty much exactly like Idaho. It looks like it just looks like a bigger version of Idaho. And wow, I'm just realizing how freaking huge Montana is because like Idaho is huge. It's one of the bigger states of the U.S. and Montana is even bigger. So yeah, Montana is pretty big. I'll put it in C. Nebraska is another one I'll put. All of the the kind of less talked about like just like flat Midwest states that mostly just have big open fields. I'll probably put in C. Alright, Nevada, one of the states that I live in. Even though I'm not gonna say which city I live in, I'm pretty sure I've already said it before. So, yeah, now I can actually say, now that I literally live here, I see what happens here every day. Not everything that happens here, but, Nevada is decent. The city I live in is okay. Um, especially, uh, and especially because I live in one of the nicer areas of the city. Um, so I'm gonna put Nevada in should I put it in C or B? Yeah, I'll put it in B. I Nevada is good enough. New Jersey, another state that I've seen people on YouTube just praise the hell out of. Which it seems like a nice place from like pictures and videos and stuff. I'll put it in B. Uh, oh god, I think I might have drove past like the very tippy top right of this state. Actually, I don't think so. Yeah, I don't think I've ever been to New Mexico, but I've heard that it absolutely sucks. I'm gonna put it in F. Just 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 from what other people have said. New York. New York has a lot to it. It's got tons of different kinds of people. Um, down because like down southeast you have New York City, or like everyone is just like a big city tourist person. But then up here in the north and the east of it, or west of it, they're completely different. I've heard they're kind of like Pennsylvania. I, I've heard that New York, outside of New York City, is kind of similar to Pennsylvania. Um, so I mean, I'm definitely not putting it in E tier. Oh God, no. I'll put it in. I'll put it in. Oh yeah, I gotta talk about what other people said about it. Everyone said that New York is a really good place to live, and like a actually like a really good place to live, because it's a nice place outside of New York City. Apparently, New York City is a decent place to visit, but not a good place to live. Um, if you want to live in New York, don't choose New York City. So, yeah, I'll put it in B tier. Yeah, B. North Carolina. Whenever I think North Carolina, I think Mr. Beast. Because I know Mr. Beast is from here. And I hate Mr. Beast. So, E. D. Alright, Oregon. Oregon was really pretty when I drove past there. It has a lot of really cool, like, forest and stuff. Um, it had really tall like pine trees, and like it had big forests and stuff. It was pretty cool. And it had a lot of big mountains too. So I'll put it in B. It's a pretty state. North Dakota. I'll put it in D. I've heard it's not super great. Everyone says that North Dakota is the most boring state, which I personally find it to be one of the most forgettable states. I always forget about North Dakota. Sorry if there's any viewers from North Dakota. But yeah, that's what I think of North Dakota. Pennsylvania. Alright. I'll put Pennsylvania in A tier actually. Even though I've never been here, everyone says that Pennsylvania is a great place. Great place to live. Even the big cities there, like Pittsburgh and Philadelphia, are really nice places, good places to visit, um, and decent places to live. And 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 I know Pennsylvania probably has the largest Amish community out of every state, which the Amish are cool. So yeah, I'll put it in A actually. Rhode Island, yeah, the smallest state. Rhode Island is actually way smaller than I thought it was when I've heard some stuff about. Apparently, Rhode Island only has 8 major roads. That's right, 8. That's pretty small. Um, um, and Rhode Island is so small, it might as well be an island of another state. So because I'm kind of just waiting for Rhode Island to be part of Massachusetts. um, because I feel like that might happen in the future. Um, or maybe it won't, and I just don't know what I'm talking about. So, but it seems like a decent place overall, even though it's really small. So apparently it's easy because it's so small. It's easy to get to nearby big cities, kind of, or something like that. Even though that doesn't, I guess that kind of doesn't really make a lot of sense. Um, but people say that like it's easy to get to bigger cities that are next to Rhode Island, like New York City and Philadelphia and Boston. Which Boston is probably only like what, like hour and a half, maybe 2 hour drive from Rhode Island. Um, South Carolina. Everyone says that this is basically the worst version of North Carolina. But since South Carolina is not the state that freaking Mr. Beast is from, I'll put it still in D, but a little bit higher. Because I've also heard that it's not a very good place to be at. Apparently it's kind of polluted, and I've also heard that the beaches there are kind of overrated. So yeah. Now we got South Dakota. Um, I've never been here, but but my dad did live here when he was about my age. So and he said that he did like it there. Um, and everyone says it's a pretty nice place. One video even had South Dakota in the top 20. Um, um, so I'll go ahead and put it in B. It seems like a decent place. Tennessee. Um, yeah, it's an E. Apparently, very polluted, very dirty, very moldy. Um, so yeah, Tennessee is not on. Going to Tennessee would definitely not be on my bucket list, especially with Memphis, which is apparently the most dangerous city in the United States. Utah S. That is opinion, because Utah is my state. I've always lived here. It's just a super great state. It's a great state, absolute great state. Um, it's the it's really pretty. It's really pretty. It's got a lot of cool mountains and like deserts and stuff. And I like some of the people. The people in southern Utah, where like St. George and Cedar City and like Moab is, those people are nice. But the people up north, they're just okay. They're kind of, some of them are kind of judgmental. Um, I know someone. Um, who lives up in northern Utah. She. I'm not gonna say where she lives, but she lives in northern Utah. But um, and she has a lot of tattoos, and apparently she gets dirty looks from them, from other people, because of her tattoos. All right, Vermont. For the people, I'm gonna put an A tier. I've heard it's a nice place. Um, the apparently Vermont is very underrated. It's apparently it's the second least. Apparently, it's the second lowest population behind Wyoming. Um, or above Wyoming. Everyone knows Wyoming. There's like no people there. I think Wyoming actually only has like 300,000 people in there. Here, let me check. Oh, can I? Is it paused? No, it's not. Well, whatever. Wyoming, uh, uh Wyoming, 500 to 587,000. Oh, more than I thought. Okay. All right. Virginia. I'll put it in B tier. I've heard it's okay. I've heard it's pretty nice. Um, what I meant to say is I've heard that the people are okay. Um, it's got like a lot of apparently like Oregon, Virginia has a lot of pretty forests. Um, and that like their capital Richmond is cool. Um, West Virginia. Sorry. But apparently West Virginia is not a fun state. Um, apparently, it's a very forgettable state in my opinion. Sorry if you're from West Virginia. Sorry, West Virginians. Apparently, kind of like even there's something I forgot to mention. Um, saying that like the people there are like saying that the people there are good or if the people are not good is kind of an opinion more than a fact. Um, so I'm just saying it based on what other people have said. Yeah, in my opinion, it's kind of a boring, forgettable state. Again, sorry if you're from West Virginia. Wyoming, the least popular state, the lowest population. Um, Wyoming seems kind of underrated. I'm gonna put it in C. It does have Yellowstone Park, but other than Yellowstone Park, people don't really know anything else about Wyoming. Um, apparently Wyoming has the smallest city in the U.S., which I don't remember what it's called, but yeah. Apparently it only has one person and only has and apparently only has like 3 or 4 buildings in its entirety. So yeah, not a single street. Um, the population the population is probably around 900,000. It's just the other 899,999 of the population is like ants and animals and stuff, and only one of those is a person. All right, Alaska. I've heard that Alaska is definitely not as nice of a place as people say. Um, apparently, I've heard that it actually has the highest crime out of every other state. Well, that's kind of surprising. Um, and also the cost of living. Apparently, I've heard that people actually give you money when you cross the borders of Alaska. I've heard that that's something they actually do. That might not be true. That's only something I've heard, but I'm just gonna put it I'll put it in D. I'm sorry if you're from Arizona, but frick Arizona. I'm an Arizona hater. um, I drive past here like every week, like this top corner of it. When I'm driving from Utah to Nevada or from Nevada to Utah. Um, and the gorge is cool, and believe it or not, I've actually never been to the Grand Canyon. And there was one thing in Arizona that I went to that was actually really cool. There was this little city called Lake Havasu City, which has a part of the London Bridge in it. So I saw a little bit of the London Bridge there. Um, Also, fun fact: I almost died there. I almost got ran over by a car trying to pick up something that I dropped in the road. So yeah, I almost died there because I was kind of an idiot back then. Okay, all right. All right, we got Illinois. I'm gonna put it in C. I've heard it's decent, and that Chicago is not as bad as people say it is. Um, Apparently Chicago is really corrupt though, like corrupt government. And I don't want to talk about that because I think talking about that stuff is stupid. I'm also gonna put Indiana. Just seems the exact same as Illinois. Sorry. I don't know why I said Illinois there. I've always been able to pronounce it right. How did I say it wrong there? All right, Louisiana, in every like ranking state video, Louisiana is always in the bottom 5. It always is. I'm gonna put it in. You know what? No, I'll put it in F. Um. Because like apparently the pollution is just so bad, and oh god, the hurricanes are awful there too. And apparently New Orleans kind of sucks. Maine. Maine is another C. Maine is another one of those like kind of irrelevant, forgettable states. um Sorry, don't want to offend any don't want to offend any people from Maine watching this. Michigan, I've heard that outside of Detroit, outside of cities like Detroit and Flint, that it's pretty nice. That it's got a lot of cool forests and and also the Great Lakes. Apparently, the Great Lakes are really pretty. So I'll put it in B. Actually, C. Minnesota. Another kind of forgettable state, in my opinion. C. New Hampshire. I wonder where Old Hampshire is, or where Old York is, or where Old Jersey is. All right. I'll put New Hampshire in A, because people say that New Hampshire is actually like even better than Vermont. It's basically Vermont but better. That's what I've heard, at least. Also, I just realized something. Vermont and New Hampshire look exactly. New Hampshire looks like Vermont, but upside down. Because like Vermont, and Vermont also kind of looks like Idaho upside down. I'm just now realizing that. Oklahoma. Tornadoes. Whenever I think Oklahoma, I think tornadoes. And tornadoes are bad. So, D. Washington. S. I love Washington. I just got back from there like 4 days ago. I spent like 4 days there, and it was super duper fun. I'm just now realizing. Oh no, I don't want to open my freaking school thing. I'm just now realizing how long this video is. Um, loved Washington. I want to live there now. So, Ohio. All right, that was ranking all 50 states, and I hope you guys enjoyed this video because I gotta have a quick ending because this video is way too long. Okay, goodbye.